Welcome to the stream, ladies and gentlemen. We are having Colin Landtrip over here. Greetings to everybody. You are seeing him over there. Let's see if I can put this a little bit bigger. No, it's like this. It's okay. So, Colin, welcome to Clopoyaur TV. First of all, please tell us who is Colin Landtrip and how did you land it on eRepublic?
eRepublic. 2009, I ran across an ad on excite.com, which I used for email at the time. Started an account, didn't fool with it for a month or two, and then just came back and started playing.
And after that, you got the disease called eRepublic. How did you get contaminated? I mean, I know how I did it. How it happened in your case?
Just boredom mostly. I mean, I played around, I two-clicked, I had a few companies. Eventually, Josh Frost started SEAL Team 6. That got me on IRC, and I met a few people, ended up on the forums, and ended up actually playing the game itself.
Playing the game, and right now you are the Dictator of Albania after you were a very important figure in USA. We will talk about USA later. How did you end up in Europe being an American citizen? Everybody knowing that you are an American citizen, you are in Europe.
Boredom? I don't know. I came back this last time and the US was kind of aligned with Serbia. And it's just, I don't know, my whole time in the game was spent fighting against Serbia. And I know people there and I talk to people there and we get along fine. But still, for me, the game is against Serbia. Serbia is the strongest, and that's who usually I like to fight.
Is this because some real life issues, or just because you like to be against the most powerful things in a game?
Yeah, just nothing real life. They're the strongest. They're the funnest to fight.
So you always like to have stronger opponents. How did you get to pick Albania? I mean, you could have picked Croatia or other enemies of Serbia. I mean, I want to know how did you get to pick Albania?
I always had good relations with Albania and Croatia, but Albania was small. Albania was dead. It was easy to go in and just start talking to people, and I mean, not to make it sound odd, especially to the Albanians that are listening, but it was just easy to go in and take over and do what I wanted to do.
Okay, and what you wanted to do? In long words.
There's no specific goals, really. Just kind of revive the community there, play the game, get back on the side with the people that I'm used to being on the side with, and have a little fun.
Okay, you revived the community, but you also built a lot of strong relations with the enemies of Serbia, and managing eventually, like 1 month ago, to erase it. Can you tell us how did you start rebuilding those relations? Because you missed from the game like 1 year or something, if I know correctly.
Yeah, I was gone a few times. It wasn't hard. I was already talking to several people while I was still in the U.S. because, you know, after a while, you talk to people from everywhere, no matter what side you were on. Just you know people everywhere, and you talk to people everywhere. So really, the groundwork was laid before I ever left the U.S. And I just slipped right into old friendships and old relationships, and we took off.
Well, Gnirevs told me in an interview like 1 month ago that Croatia was the biggest enemy is the biggest enemy of USA. However, Croatia was your biggest friend. How did these things changed?
I was gone when whatever happened between Croatia and the USA happened, but Croatia was historically one of our best allies. I don't know what happened. I don't know who pissed off who, and it doesn't really matter to me. But I mean, prior to coming back this time, I'd probably done more damage for Croatia than I had the USA lifetime. So trying to get used to a relationship where they're not our allies or they're not my friend is just not something I could get used to.
Yes, okay. I wanted to ask you. You said Albania was an easy pick. You went there. It was the perfect field for your plans. How did you manage to orchestrate this as a one-man operation? Did you had also other friends coming with you, or you just had your plans? I want to do this and this and this. I need these people, and let's get it on. Tell us more about how you did it. You know, I want to know the secret. I want to know what is behind this.
You'd probably be giving me more credit than I deserve, really. I mean, there was no particular plan. I just started talking to people, and we slowly put together a group message, and over time, every couple of weeks, we adjust that group message with a different set, we add a few people and remove a few people. We're slowly growing and building a group of active people that want to be involved and want to help.
Okay, so how the most important relationship was with Croatia? Zlemi was saying in an interview that he built up things. He said, "Okay, let's do this. Let's erase Serbia," and people came. His main help was, of course, you. What was your part of this amazing operation?
The operation was Zlemi's. I mean, I answered the call, I guess, and showed up and helped. But it was his plan. He laid it out step by step, and we just kind of followed. Wouldn't really be fair of me to take much credit for it.
Okay, but okay, let me address this question directly. What can you take credit for? I know you're modest. You don't want to use big words, but come on, you can tell me now.
Really need to take credit for anything. I mean, I don't. If you've dealt with me or worked with me, you know me. You know how I am. I'm results oriented, and I don't really care who gets credit.
Okay, right now Serbia was deleted. What is next? I see Albania all over the place. You have big plans. How is Albania standing right now, and what are your future plans that can't be disclosed?
Well, it would be fun to act like we have some big super secret plan, but really we don't. I mean, we ended up in southern Sweden by accident, mostly just talking to Ilfin and say, okay, yeah, we'll go for a minute. And then France, we ended France yesterday. That's really just for TP. I mean, they've got a bunch of double bonus regions. We'll probably try to pick up a couple of those, but there's no huge plan there. War takes a lot of time, especially a big war or a real war, and it's hard for me to come by real life.
Is talking about real life, how much time in Republic takes you? Because being involved in such a manner also requires a lot of time. I was president of Romania a few times. I was president in South Korea for like 3 or 4 months, and I know when I was president, literally almost all my time was in front of my computer, regardless if I was at work or with my family at home.
It's pretty much all day, every day. I mean, every waking hour, even if I'm working or if I'm doing something else, you're checking your phone, you're checking on this, somebody's on WhatsApp messaging you, somebody's sending you a message in game, or you're checking alerts, you're reading the shout feed, you're checking on battles. It's pretty much 24/7. If I wake up in the middle of the night to pee, I check my phone before I pee.
Okay, so I'm not the only one.
There are hundreds of us at least, if not thousands.
Okay, you said that Albania ended up in Sweden, just getting there. But tell me more about the war with Canada, because that was something more involved over there than just. I let you continue.
Another round?
I guess that kind of started. There's always been a vocal minority in the U.S. that was always invade Canada, invade Canada, invade Canada. And I've never been a part of it. I never really cared for it. You know, Canada's our northern neighbor. They're just like us pretty much in real life. It's just something that never appealed to me. But at some point a couple of months ago, Riled, I don't think he was Canadian CP at the time, but he's been Canadian CP several times, and he ran the following month, I believe, was apparently just kind of talking smack and talking trash. And then one afternoon, he set some COs against the U.S. in one of our RWs. And I set some COs against him and beat him. And I kind of got to looking around, and I think Ireland messaged me, or I messaged them, or somehow we ended up talking, though. And they had a training war with Canada that had gone bad, and Canada wouldn't quit the training war, basically, and was kicking their ass. So I got involved there. I started setting some COs for them, and we we didn't quite wipe Canada that time. At some point they reached a deal there. I think we removed Wild as dictator, and they reached a deal, so we quit. At that same time, I was kind of looking for a way out of the U.S. We were just maybe right before the Chile-Cuba thing, and I was looking for a way out. So we did the Chile-Cuba thing after, and then I took off for Albania. We freed a region there, needed a place to go, and Canada just kind of came to mind. I don't know. Hey, we could just go to Canada, and there we are.
But you said you wanted the way out from USA. Why did you look for that way out?
Well, we kind of covered the Croatia-Serbia alliance structure. I've just historically had friends on the other side. Most of my close friends, most of my old relationships are on the other side. Croatia, Bulgaria, Macedonia, even to some extent, Albania. I had a lot of friends in Albania. It's where I belong.
Did you also had some, let's say, old debts to repay? Being as an Albanian, you could no longer be contested as an American citizen, and in this way, maybe you had some, let's say, old debts to repay to someone else from USA?
Are you trying to imply some type of animosity towards the U.S.?
Maybe.
No.
Because many of the people are saying, okay, Colin is from USA, he's coming in Europe, he's staying here, he's attacking Canada, definitely has something against USA, but he doesn't go directly to USA, but goes to Canada and show them that he has balls.
For the most part, the USA doesn't like Canada. So I'm not aware of any issue the U.S. had with my going to Canada. And there are occasionally tensions and talks between me and an individual, or me and an occasional other individual. But for the most part, no. I left the USA on good terms. I left them in good shape, and I hope to maintain good relations with them.
Do you intend to go back at one point?
Possibly, probably. I don't know. When I'm done, maybe.
Okay, so meaning what I'm done, meaning that there is another purpose right now. What is that purpose? If you can disclose it, of course.
A purpose to what?
Well, you said when I'm done, maybe I will be back to USA.
Oh, well, no. You're just trying to make too much of it to create a purpose as opposed to just.
Well, I'm just asking. I'm not trying to create anything.
So, the game for me is just entertainment. It's something to do. I work away from home. I work alone mostly, and it fills the time. It's entertainment. It's social life. It's how I feel the time. There's not always a plan or some. It's just something to do.
Yes, you came from USA. The American citizens are playing the game as the pacifier of the world. That's the purpose when an American joins e-Republic. Well, you landed in Balkans where everybody has to kill somebody. Croats want to kill Serbians, Serbians want to kill Croats, Romanians and Hungarians have to kill each other, Macedonia, Fyrom has to do a war with Greece, Bulgaria and Turkey has something to split or something like that. How did you find this big animosity that you found in Balkans in opposite side with the, let's say, easy to play game from USA?
I've seen it in the game for years, so it's not unfamiliar, but it is hard to understand as an American. I mean, we don't have old hatreds. There's really nobody that we hate or that we really worry about or think about, or those types of relationships are unfamiliar to us. So it's a little different, and I think it's silly. I mean, but at the same time, it's hard to discount, 1,000 years of history when your people have been fighting or arguing or whatever over one little piece of land. But it's a game. There are people we could be allies with in this game that we can't be for that very reason. There are people that we are allies with in this game that we can MPP for that reason. So, I don't know. as an American, we don't really understand. I mean, it's you can rationalize it and say, well, it makes sense because of this or this, but it's also just kind of stupid.
I have to agree with you. At the start, when I started the game, I joined the game just to kill Hungarians. But as the time passed, I realized that it's just a game. And right now on my Twitch channel, there are Romanians and Hungarians, there are Croats and Serbs, and literally they can understand each other. They can talk each other without saying bad words, and that's actually the spirit of the game. I think as time passed, people realize this, and that is very important for a game.
Some people do,
Some
but some
people,
don't.
and some people don't, right?
It's always.
Well, you are playing this game since 2008, 2009. How did you saw the role of the community changing in this period?
I was gone for a good deal of it. I started in 2009. CP in the fall of 2000. I hung around for another 3 or 4 months full time after that, and then kind of faded out and sold my account in the spring of 11. Then I came back, I guess spring of 13, and played with another account that I bought up until fall of 13. And then left again, and then came back. Which the account I'm on now I actually made in February of 14, I guess. But I didn't actually start playing again full time or being involved until this past spring. I mean, March or so this year.
How come did you sell your first account? Sold your first account because, as far as I remember, was one of the biggest accounts in the game.
The
Or
first one,
what made you quit?
I don't. You strive towards a goal for so long, and you push towards it, and you end up as CP.
You are doing everything in the game.
You do everything. You end up as CP. You're working with alliances. You're doing this. You're doing that. Right there, about the time I quit the first time was when Eden fell apart. You just get bored. You don't actually want to do things anymore because you've already done everything, and you become the old bitchy guy sitting around in the corner that has an opinion on everything but doesn't actually do anything, and it just seemed like time to leave.
Yeah, I know the feeling, but I didn't quit. I just clicked and invented this stream. But everybody finds ways to fill the time here. Okay, second, you came back and you bought the second account that you played till 2013. Tell us more about that period, because as I remember again, was, if not the biggest account in the game, or one in top 5, yes?
It was number 2 when I bought it and number 1 when I sold it.
Okay, so how was by playing the best account in the game?
It was fun. I mean, it was fun. I mean, it was
Because you are the king of on the battlefield. Literally nobody does more damage than you if you are the biggest one.
It's very fun, and I mean, I guess it's good for the ego, and it was a lot of fun. I tanked a lot for the first 3 months or so I had it, and then they had that would have been 13. So the 6th anniversary, I guess, they had the thing where 1 EV filled up your whole energy.
Yeah, I remember that day.
I made elite that day, got the extra 100 strength, and became the number 1 account the day they did that. But I tanked a lot. Right there at the end of it is when they introduced the CO system, and I'm sure you'll get to that at some point. But that kind of changed tanking. It wasn't that, and then I fooled around with that for another couple of months maybe, and then had a real life change of job and just wasn't able to be here, I guess.
So you quit this big account because you weren't able to play, or because you said, okay, this game doesn't offer me what I want from such a game, so I will quit.
No, real life work changed, and I couldn't be on E-Rep at all, hardly, much less enough to maintain an account of that. You don't want to ruin an account like that. So.
Okay, I will not ask you how much did you spend on the second account and how much did you sold your first account, but were you on profit? That is what I'm going to ask. I mean, you sold it for more than you have bought it?
As long as you don't figure in what was spent on it. I mean, it's not. there's no profit to be made here. I mean, you're going to spend money.
I mean, if I would be in your place, I said, I don't care how much money I spend, but if I had fun with this account, that's enough for me.
Yeah, well, I mean, technically, I made just slightly more than I paid for it. But when I paid for it, I paid for companies, and then I also spent months tanking with it. So, no, I mean, it's not. No, I didn't make money. I lost money. I lost a lot of money.
Okay. And now a question that I personally cannot answer. How did you had the patience to raise an account from zero? Calling Landry free started from zero. How come you did not bought a new account? Why did you want it to start from zero? If you ask me, I would not have the nerves to start again from zero.
The only reason I made the account, I saw on Facebook or somewhere about the EREP meeting in Turkey for the year before last, I guess it is now. So I stopped and made an account just because I figured, I probably need an account to kind of get in touch with people and see what's going on.
So you wanted to go to the e-Republic anniversary meeting. It was like annual meeting in Greece, right?
In Turkey, yeah.
In Turkey, pardon me. Those that organized by Lazocracy?
Yeah, it didn't really turn out to be a full meeting either like the previous ones, but it was a good time. But I made the account for that just so that I could get in touch with people in the game. And so for the first year, I just kind of two-clicked it, if even that. I mean, so I guess I was kind of attached to it by the time I started playing again. And the COs, your individual account doesn't really matter anyway. I've had all the medals. I've had all the jobs. I've done everything you want to do. So the account really doesn't matter to me anymore.
Yeah, so you just use it in a different way. In the past, you used your account to tank. Right now, you are using your account to set combat orders and to achieve your goals. Is that right?
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
It's a different way of playing the game.
My account is just the presence there. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah, because right now, the only thing it matters to offer money to the people. And I want to ask you something about this. The combat orders are extremely important right now. In the past, people were caring, okay, I'm on this side, I'm Eden, I am 2, I am 1, I fight for the countries that are in my alliance. Right now, people are so much into money because literally they don't care. Whenever they see more money, they fight. Why it's this change in the game? How do you see it?
Well, I mean, some of it is just some people being some people, and they're always going to do that no matter what. I think Lemmy mentioned last time, a lot of people have to raise money for their packs. A lot of people need 60,000 for this pack, 90,000 for this pack, 60,000 for this pack. And if you don't have the pack, you're not really relevant on the battlefield anymore, especially if you're D1 through 3. So it's not. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. It's just kind of reality. It's not. I don't know. I mean, TP, COs, and something else. Just kind of killed the game, really. I mean, it used to be you fought in groups, you fought together, and you fought for something. And now you fight for money. I mean, from my end, it's easier, just because, I mean, I put up a CO, I freaking click back every 20, 30 minutes and check on it, and it just, it's win, win, win. It's easy. But it's not the involved game that it once was. It's not the social experience it once was. It's not the team feeling that it once was.
Well, in the last missions, e-Republic tried to bring back that feeling. Putting people in the same regiment to fight together for some achievements. Do you think they will be able to continue this trend in the future? Did you like that?
Well, we weren't being one person. We weren't really able to get organized. I don't think any MU in Albania completed an objective on either one of the last 2 missions. And I know we tried a couple of times on the last few days of the first one, but we weren't particularly organized enough for it at that time. But yeah, I think it's good. I think anything that makes people get together and act as one is good. It's just good for the whole experience. It's good for activity. It's good for a sense of belonging.
Well, you are a man that go through all the stages of e-Republic, more or less. You have seen everything, you have done everything. How do you see the game developing in the last period? Many people say, okay, this game will die, but those people are
That
saying
belongs in a museum.
that people say that, okay, this game will die, however, this game is still alive and has some 70, 80,000 players registered. How do you see this game in the future?
A lot of people would argue that it's already dead. I mean, the game they knew, the game they loved, is already dead. It doesn't exist anymore. I don't. Do they keep the servers on, and do they keep however many thousands of people playing whatever the game becomes? Probably. I mean, there's not. Probably. But there's nothing. There's nothing that's really going to attract new people here anymore. There's no. I was able to come back and get involved because I knew people, I knew what was going on, and I didn't really come back to play the game. I don't. Will the game go on? Probably. Will it be what it is now, or no? It'll never be what it used to be. There's not really an answer for that.
Yeah, but well, if you would be the developer of e-Republic, what would you do to bring back this game to not a golden age, at least a bronze age?
Well, I mean, if I were the developer, my concern would be profits, and I don't know enough about how profits have come and gone over time to know what was best for them. What would I don't know what I would do. I don't run games. I don't have any idea.
You just play them. Okay, let's get back to the game a little bit. And tell us more your opinions about certain relations in e-Republic, and how do you see them as a player that has seen and done everything? How do you see the Serbian-Croatian war or Serbian-Croatian relationships?
I would go back to your last question real quick. I would like to see them move divisions to strength-based. I think that would be, with a pretty low threshold for Division 1, that might help keep a few newer players. Then Croatia, Serbia, I don't know. They've been fighting forever. They'll always fight forever, and I don't know. It's just part of the game.
Will Croatia have the strength to become as strong as Serbia right now?
Well, nobody is going to be as strong as Serbia. I mean, nobody by themselves. I mean, there's no. Serbia's had the lead. When did they really became the strongest country back in 10, right? I mean, probably 2010.
Yes.
And they've just built on that. They've become stronger and stronger every year compared to everyone else. Nobody has. I don't know what they use as a motivating factor there. I don't know how they, for a long time it was, everybody joked about Serbian multis, but at some point you just have to recognize that they've built something there, and it's stronger than anything else. It's just they've done well somehow.
Talking about stronger things, Serbia created, together with other countries, Asteria, which is the only alliance right now in the game, and probably the strongest form of power in the game, if you take it as a whole on the longer period of time. Why the other countries do not organize themselves in an alliance to counter Asteria?
I mean, I think there are a couple of other alliances, but they
okay,
are.
Well, they are not important alliances. You cannot say Banana Alliance, it's a big alliance. Yes, it exists, but it's not an alliance.
I didn't mean Banana. Banana's actually not an alliance. We're just all sitting there.
Okay.
I don't. I watched the Takimata interview last week. I don't consider it a huge accomplishment to take what is literally. What do they have? 4 of the top 10 countries, 6 of the top 10 countries in one alliance there? When you've got all the power and you've got all the strength, it's not real complicated to get organized and stay that way. It's easy to keep tensions low, and it's easy to help people get along when you win. So I don't.
However, you prove that they can be shut down.
Yeah, they can be temporarily shut down. Well, it's not. Their free damage just keeps coming and coming and coming and coming. There's nobody that's going to spend enough to take and hold down Serbia. It's just ridiculous.
Well, but if the other countries would organize, maybe they could do it.
Well, that's a different story. That's
Well, let's see. Let's count Bulgaria, Chile, Albania, and a few other countries. Put them together. Maybe even Poland. Put them together, and maybe they will be able to face Serbia and Austria, of course. But they kind of refuse to work with each other. Is this because they are playing selfish, or because they are either greedy or scary?
there are a few countries on our side that that make it harder than it should be. I mean, you think of Croatia and Bulgaria right offhand. I mean, that's just the infighting amongst people, and I don't know the full story, and it's been going on off and on since at least the second time I played. So you don't really know, but at the same time, it's a game. You're on the same side. Freaking get over it and figure it out. We're getting our asses kicked, and you're not helping. And there are a couple of relationships like that between countries that make it harder than it should be. But at this point, we're still outgunned. I mean, you mentioned Poland swapping. It would take 2 or 3 significant countries swapping sides to kind of balance out the game.
Well, though it's possible. In the past, Romania was the most strong alliance in the game, and in the last period, the last few days, we had the Romanian epic Croatian resistance wars that were literally crazy. Croatians and Romanians fighting like mad ducks. So things are changing from time to time. Where is the border between real life Republic history and what is actually happening in the game? Okay, that's a tough question.
For some people, there is no border. I mean, for me, the border's clear and easy, but for some people, there is no border. I think we kind of covered that earlier a little.
Okay, so do you think that at one point Romania and Hungary can be on the same side?
They're on the same side now.
Well, they'll never have an MPP between them.
Blah, 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 blah. They're on the same side right now.
Do you see them? Do you see them as on the same side?
They are on the same side. It's not a matter of perspective. They are on the same side.
Okay, and Greece, on which side is it?
Greece is on. Greece is Greece.
Greece is Greece.
It's a good ally. I mean, Greece is. I have good relations with Greece, and I don't. Greece is internally divided. Greece has a direction it wants to go, but it's also kind of comfortable where it is. It's in a very unique position to where pretty much it's friends with both sides, and it'd be a nice position to be in. And it is nice for them, but it's not really nice for anybody that's trying to rely on them.
Talking about people that are in a nice position with having friends on both sides, you are both friends with Greece and Macedonia Fyrom. How do you see from this point of view? How do you manage to solve the obviously issues between those two countries as being friends to both of them?
I have a lot of trouble getting an MPP from either one.
And how do you solve them?
I don't. Well, I never got the FYI, the Macedonian MPP. Somebody gets mad. I'm sorry. I'm not spelling that shit out like that. I don't know. It doesn't. I've learned kind of to stay out of it. I don't. Those guys have their own issues, and it's the Macedonia, Greece, Croatia, Bulgaria, whoever. In my younger days, I would have tried to get involved and mediate or try to solve, or I'm friends with this guy, I'm friends with this guy. Let's talk about it. Over time, you learn there's nothing you can do. It's real life. It's stuff you don't understand. It's stuff you don't know anything about, and it's stuff that'll never be solved. So
well,
I just don't.
That's my conclusion also. However, this is characteristic for Balkans. You have to understand.
I try to maintain our relationship with all of the countries I can, and there's several that we can MPP that we're on the same side with, and we try to maintain good relations with them. I stay out of shit that's not my business.
Yeah, okay, and talking about Balkans, Romania is there. What is your relation with Romania?
Well, I grew up with Eden. I had good relations with Eden. I don't I had good relations with Eden. I have no problems with Eden or with Romania. I have no problems with Romania, and I would enjoy it if we had a good relationship with Romania. I at one time anyway, I knew a lot of Romanians. Um, I would love to see them swap sides for a multitude of reasons.
Yes,
But
and
they just climbed back on the fence where they were, and that's where they're going to sit.
okay. You said that you met a lot of Romanians. Definitely, you met a lot of e-Republic players in real life. Who impressed you the most, and who make the strongest impact on you when you actually met them in real life, or her? I don't know.
I don't know. I had a good time at every time I met people or hung out with people. I had a really good time. I don't. There's no favorite moment. There's no favorite person. There's no. I don't know. Just every experience was a little different, and I had a good time.
Was there anyone that you wanted to meet and you didn't manage to get there
Everybody that
from e-Republic? A special person, let's say somebody you work with so well, but you have never ever get the chance to meet him in real life.
uh, I've never had that thought. No, I mean I don't. There's not. There are people we're discussing possibly a few people meeting later this year. I mean I don't know. There's no. To answer your question, no, not really. But I'm sure I will meet other people in time.
Yeah, because honestly, I would gladly drink a beer with you
Yeah,
if I will manage to get in touch with you.
we're buying.
If I will visit USA for sure.
Definitely let me know if you do. It's weird. I've only met a few U.S. players, and that's I mean I've tried several times to kind of map out where I was going to be or what I was doing, and just I never have any luck meeting them. I've met a few, but that's it in the U.S.
Okay, you've met a few people during your life, having also the biggest account in the game. Definitely, you had enemies in the game, not enemies in real life, or toughest opponent. Who was your toughest opponent when you were the biggest account in the game in life, fighting for battle hero medals or fighting against you on the other side of the battlefield? Who was your arch enemy, if I can call it like this? And don't be afraid to give me names. I will not take no for an answer.
I wouldn't be afraid to give you names if I had one, but I don't. I don't have enemies. I don't think of if something irritates me or somebody pisses me off. It's a pretty strong reaction usually, but it's short and it's over with. I don't sit around dwelling on things. I don't worry about things. I just I get mad and I get over it. So I don't really have. There's really nobody I can think of that I just really hate in game that I'd like to do this or do that or I just don't. I don't function that way. I don't think that way, and I don't. And I get mad and I get over it and I move on. I don't really have. There's nobody I really consider a rival. There's nobody I consider an enemy. There's no. I like fighting Serbia, but that's pretty expensive these days. If I could do anything all the time, that's what I would do, but I can't.
Okay, somebody asked me in the chat, who did you met in USA?
In the USA, Jude Connors, Speed Cat McNasty, somebody else. There's one more, but I can't remember who it is. But Jude and Speed I met, which Speed doesn't play anymore, and Jude Connors he's a political figure in the U.S. still now.
He ran in the elections last time, but he lost to Wild Owl, if I recall correctly, right?
Yeah.
And talking about presidents, what was the president that you liked the most from USA and why? You of course.
It's obvious. Most that I like most in the USA. I don't know, man. It's not. Depends on how you wanted to rate them or how you give me too much credit for paying attention.
Okay, then you cannot evade the next question. What
It don't
was the
count.
most memorable moment you had in E-Republic?
Uh,
Don't tell me you don't remember.
really, it's not a
Don't
don't.
tell me there were too many moments. One moment for the eternity.
There are too many moments, though. There are just too many. I will tell you, somebody and I were having this conversation the other day, and I will tell you that none of my most memorable moments are related to battles at all. I don't. They were all social interactions of some sort. Social. There were when I first started playing, I had some companies, and I used to sit, every day I would hire people and I would sit and I would message them and I would talk to them and I would help them and it just over time, over years even, somebody would pop up on our IRC and be like, "Hey, I remember you. I worked with you when I first started," or stuff like that. And those things probably meant the most to me.
Okay, that's the most impressive moment for me in Republic is not related to the game itself again. Every year my military unit has an annual meeting and people from like 500, 600 kilometers come to Bucharest just for one night to stand at the table to drink a beer, to talk each other. And when you see 30 or 40 people coming from all the countries just for a bloody game, because this is what E-Republic is, that's the most impressive thing ever. And last year we said, well, we won't organize anything this year because the game will die. Well, the game hasn't died and people are asking me, "Hey Clopo, do we do this meeting this year also?" And I have to organize it.
I wish that were possible here, but it's too big and we're too spread out and half the or most of the people playing the game don't actually have the money to travel, and it's a lot harder to travel and more expensive to travel here than it is there.
Okay, back to E-Republic because we have covered some community things. What it's happening in Scandinavia? You were there. You said you went there just to see what happens, and you ended up fighting with friends and so on and so on. Right now, Scandinavian Peninsula. If I will open the map, it looks like a Dots chocolate bar. Every nation is over there. What is happening? Why everybody landed over there?
Um,
There are 10 countries in the Scandinavian Peninsula. I counted earlier. There are 10 countries over there.
I looked at the map and I regret being there. To be honest, I don't. Denmark and Sweden were fighting, and I have a good relationship with Germany, and we just kind of
Another
airstrike
round?
Denmark to take the territory and just kind of be there for a minute. I don't. That's all that we're doing there. I don't. Apparently, Chile or a Chilean MU came in and MTO'd Norway, and then I don't know. Russia attacked Norway, Bolivia attacked Norway, and I think Paraguay maybe.
Yes,
Attacked.
Paraguay is there also.
I haven't followed it. I don't. I'm not involved. People want to give me shit over the Canadian MTO, but we didn't really do anything with it, and I don't really want anything to do with an MTO. So I don't. I've avoided it, to be
So
honest.
you have nothing to do with the Canadian MTO.
No, I had plenty to do with the Canadian MTO. Just the Norway MTO, I didn't have anything to do with, and I don't really want to be a part of all that.
However, Chileans made at MTO, Chileans that are somehow an ally of you. How?
I know. I don't.
Okay, tell me if you know.
It's all I can do is just not be involved at this point. I don't know.
So you do not agree with that MTO, even though it was made by some sort of allies.
Well, I don't. I think it's a bad idea. I don't. I don't know. I don't. It's not my place to pass judgment on anything. And since I just did an MTO in Canada, it's hard for me to publicly get up and say you shouldn't be doing this. But I don't. I don't particularly like it.
Okay, and talking about Chileans, how do you see Chile? Like 6 months ago, they were the king of the world, and right now they are playing such a low profile. Literally, they are staying in their borders, and from time to time in New Zealand and so on. What happened with them?
I don't know. I don't. We had a slight discussion, a little bit of a discussion about this the other day on WhatsApp with some people. I don't know. It did seem like they were on top of the world for a while there. It did. It just.
Well, I remember that back in March, they had 11 resistance wars, 11, and they won them all.
Yeah, that was it 3 or 4 contests ago. They dominated that one contest, and it's, hundreds of thousands of gold that the individual players won, not the country, and that probably made a huge difference in how it got spent. But I don't know. I assume they're there. They have some sort of NAP down there that kind of keeps them out of the wars. Boredom is dangerous. A couple of a week or two of being bored kind of kills people a little bit, and a month or two of being bored is just dangerous for a community. So I'm hoping they're able to just be woke back up. I'm hoping they're just laying there kind of dormant, ready to go. It's an important relationship for Albania. It's a strong country. When I got there, it was the only NPP Albania had, and the Albanians are really fond of Chile. So it's a relationship I hope to maintain.
Okay, you talked about the boredom being an enemy. What is a bigger enemy for a nation? Being wiped and underdog, or being bored? I mean, it's preferably to have wars and lose them, or not to have wars at all.
Well, to an extent, to an extent, being wiped is the better of the two, just because as long as there's leadership and you're able to maintain some type of hope, as long as you're able to maintain a fighting spirit, as long as you're able to keep the community involved and believing that you can. But if you stay white and the community gives up, it's the same thing. You might as well just quit.
So you really need a goal, and eventually you have to fulfill that goal for the community to resist.
Yeah, when I started in 2009 was the first, I assume it's the first invasion of the U.S. was going on. Indonesia, hell, I don't even remember who all it was, but it was...
Well, I have to remember, my first serious battle was defending Florida for USA in V1.
I'd been playing for a couple of months at that point, maybe. So and that was exciting. That was great, and that probably kept me and thousands of other Americans playing at the time, just because we were fighting. It was a little disorganized, and it was a little chaotic, but there was good media. There were people talking to us, not always telling us what we wanted to know, but there was media, and there was action, and it seemed like we always had a chance. So it kept people playing, it kept people involved, it kept people fighting.
Okay, we talked about Balkans. Somebody is saying in the chat about Slovenia. Slovenia is not actually in the Balkans, however, it's playing an important role in this whole equation. What is Slovenia for Albania and for Colin Lantrip?
I talked to Bruce occasionally. Not a few times anyway. SD Melancho. I'm not sure how to pronounce it or how it's actually written there. He and I talk a little bit. Just I don't know. I have no problems with Slovenia. They're on the other side, but
they are far away from Albania.
They're far away from Albania. They don't have the real life nonsense with Albania. So it doesn't. It's an enemy country in that area that I don't have to deal with that bullshit from. It's just I can't recall him ever calling me a goat fucker. That's something.
Okay, Zlemi was saying in his interview something really interesting. The fact that every nation has a leading personality, or let's say somebody that keeps that nation towards the terms of more presidents. Very important figures. Let's say it's Bruce for Slovenia, it's you for Albania, it's Zlemi for Croatia, El Bandido for Romania, Trico for Chile. How important are these people for a nation? And what happens when one of these people decides to quit or to keep a low profile, or real life takes its toll?
Well, there's usually, I can only speak for countries I've been in, I guess, and observed. But there's usually more than one person. There are usually 2 or 3 people, sometimes from competing factions within the country, that they've been around each other long enough that they get along, but they kind of have differing ideas and different opinions. I don't. Their power and influence comes and goes. It just depends on what's going on in the country, how strong the actual leadership is of the country at the time, and I don't. Somebody that's doing it right is there when they need to be, and knows when they don't need to be. And I don't. You have to get out of the way to an extent to let people develop and learn all the things that you learn by playing. But you spend years playing something, working on a community, and you're invested in it personally. You don't want to see somebody screw it up. You don't want to see somebody ruin your country. So I think there's usually more than one, and the role you play should vary over time, and it does vary over time depending on the person.
Okay, when Colin Landry will eventually leave Albania, will Albania be able to be a strong country in the region, being able to defend itself? Did Colin Landry build a strong community to resist after Colin Landry will eventually leave or eventually die in the game? I don't know. Because nothing lasts forever.
No, he hasn't yet, no. I don't, it's not, they'll never be able to exist next door to Serbia. No matter, not even if Colin Landry is here. I don't know. It's a small country. It's a small community. And you look around on the map and there aren't very many of them that actually survive on their own terms. So it would be foolish to say they will.
So maybe they can reach a solution through diplomatic negotiations?
I don't. Would you like to go negotiate with Serbia for us?
Well, I'm not a negotiator, but that's for Minister of Foreign Affairs exist.
There's too much real life there. I mean, it's just not. They hold southeastern Albania. They don't even need, and they hold it just because they can. I mean, it's not. There's just too much real life there, and it's not. Albania will never exist for any length of time in its cores.
Okay. Nice. I want to ask you something about real life, because we have talked all about the game. Tell us, what do you like to do in your real life as a hobby when you are not playing in Republic and you are not waking up in the middle of the night to take a piss and check your phone on battles and combat orders?
Well, not a lot really. I mean, there's not. When you're playing a rep full time, there's not a lot else you do. I don't know. I think most of the people watching this are going to be pretty active players. And, you know, occasionally if it's slow, I try to watch a movie, read a little news, but not a lot. I'm away from home all the time, so it's not. There aren't a lot of options, and plus there's always something to do. I need to write an article right now.
Okay, I saw your last article, your update on what is happening in Sweden. It was like 3 or 4 columns. It was really nice. I wrote it. I read it. Okay, do you watch sports? What sports do you like?
I watch the college team here. I'm from Arkansas in the U.S. And there's a main college here, and I pretty much keep track of its teams: basketball, baseball, and then American football. But that's really about it. I don't watch professional football. I don't watch soccer. I don't watch professional basketball. I don't. So
you have to like Chicago Bulls.
I don't have to like Chicago Bulls at all.
But you have to like an NBA team.
Not really. There's no.
I'm asking you about an NBA team because I have no idea about other teams from NFL, baseball, or something else. I only know Chicago Red Sox and some Giants, but
Red Sox baseball team. When I was young, I'm from the U.S. South, and when I was young, there were no NBA teams down here, so I didn't really grow up watching NBA, and I don't professional football or U.S. football, whatever you want to call it. Dallas is only about 5 hours from here, so I guess I grew up a Cowboys fan. Baseball, St. Louis is about 6 hours from here, so the St. Louis Cardinals. Kind of grew up a St. Louis Cardinals fan.
Okay. You said you are spending almost all your time away from home because you are working outside your home. Definitely, you have to like traveling. Is there a place on this world where you want to go on the to-go list? Is there any place on the to-go list?
Uh, every place. I don't. There's there's no place I don't want to go. I guess. I mean, that I could.
Therefore, when are you going? When are you coming to Romania?
I came to Romania in 2010, so probably not anytime soon. I may go to I don't maybe Serbia, Slovenia, and Croatia late this spring, early this summer.
Anyway, if you came by a range of 300 kilometers from Romania, just drop me a line. Maybe I will get there for that beer that I promised you.
How far are you from Belgrade?
600 kilometers.
Probably not then, but you never know. I mean, it's
Yes, we will see. Okay, people, if you have questions for Colin Landry, feel free to ask them in the chat. While I'm going to ask him the most difficult question of all, the question that didn't want it to be asked. Okay, everybody's curious. How much money did you spend on eRepublic? How many figures?
yeah. I wouldn't. A thing like that, if you were to keep track of it, you would quit, or I would anyway. I don't.
That's a good thing that you don't keep track of it.
I honestly don't know. I don't. There was an article a while back where people messaged in to the admins to get their lifetime spending on their account, and I messaged in and asked and tried to ask if I could get like the lifetime for my PayPal address, and they couldn't give it to me, so I don't really know. And then I've spent a lot of money outside of I probably spent more money out of the game than I have in the game. So who knows? I don't really want to know.
Okay. Another and the last question related to money. Zlemi said that he spent like 13 million currency on the campaign against Serbia. What was the money that you spent for that campaign? If you can tell me, of course. I'm not forcing you or something.
Yeah, you're not going to force me. I think what he said though was that he spent 30 million over a couple of months on all the campaigns during that time. I don't think it was really just on that, because I throw money here, I throw money there, I send money to this person, I send money to that person. I would guess just for that, I think we helped Ireland and Italy quite a bit. We sent some to Croatia. If I had to guess, maybe 10 or 12, but I don't really know on just the Serbia campaign.
Okay, thank you. Somebody, the Star Defender, asked, who is helping you in Albania? Do you do this all by yourself, alone?
Well, sometimes it feels like it. But,
yeah, I know the feeling, trust me.
it's probably not true, but sometimes it feels like it. Early on, there were a couple of the older guys that kind of helped me out and introduced me to people, kept conversations going, and helped me in different ways. And lately, there are a couple of newer guys, or not really newer, but maybe newer to the top of their political scene, that are more involved in helping out. I wish there was more help. I wish more people would get involved. This month we're going to hopefully, this month we're going to elect an Albanian CP, no matter what, I guess. But hopefully we elect the guy I want. And he's picking a cabinet and trying to find people to fill in spots there. And I guess that's the next step, is having them develop their own. I can't rebuild their community for them. I mean, I can give them a home. I can help them on the battlefield, but to some extent they have to get involved.
They have to do things by themselves.
They have to. For them to survive after me, they have to be able to do it. So it's difficult for me, but I'm kind of trying to get out of the way a little bit and just, here, you do this, and you've got to do it, or it's not going to get done. So hopefully.
Yeah. Somebody asked in the chat, who is your favorite enemy individually and favorite ally? You told me that your favorite enemy is Serbia. Who is your favorite ally?
Croatia.
Okay. Luca asked me, what do you work in real life? If you can tell us, of course. Well, personally, I do not disclose this kind of information, but if you wish, you may do so.
Yeah, I don't. Well, up until spring, I worked in the oil fields in North Dakota and fracking.
Another
and,
round?
When oil prices dropped, I got laid off and I bought a truck. And currently, I'm driving around the U.S. in a truck.
Well, nice. You are seeing many places.
Many highways, many trucks.
Somebody from Fire Macedonia asked, please ask Colin why did he try to airstrike Macedonia?
I didn't actually try to airstrike Macedonia. It was I was doing something to gauge a reaction, and that's. I mean, I tried to explain to a couple of them there. Just it wasn't. I have good relations with Macedonia, and I don't intend to have any problems with Macedonia. I was gauging someone's reaction, and I had to. Sometimes you just have to do something to see how people act.
Sometimes you can afford to get pissed.
Sometimes you can. I wasn't. I mean, I don't. It really had nothing to do with Macedonia. It was just watching somebody else to see what they did.
Okay. Recently, you were set as natural enemy by Portugal. How did you see this? Why did they pick on you?
Why did they pick on me? Well, they voted it down. It seemed. When I looked last night, anyway, I think it had already passed the threshold to where it wouldn't pass. I've been talking to Portugal since before we landed in Canada. We've had a good relationship with them. We've talked to them. The U.S. has a good relationship with Portugal, and I don't want it. I don't have any problem with Portugal, and I don't want any problem with Portugal. They seem like nice guys, and they're doing good work there. We need France. They didn't really like it. We'd talked to them about it. They knew it was coming. They knew kind of our intentions there aren't really. And we're not trying to wipe France. We're not trying to punish France. We're not going to do anything bad in France. We need some more. We need a little TP. We'll probably try to hold a couple of regions. But mostly we need some more. We need some TP. We need some activity. People are bored, and I have to have that. It's just required.
As long as there is activity in the country, we can develop that country, right?
Right. It's not. I have to have activity to keep people playing. And I think they misunderstood, and I think maybe one or two people there kind of pulled the gun a little quick on me, and we were able to talk yesterday, and I don't anticipate any problems with Portugal, and I don't want any problems with Portugal.
So you will fight to resist the attack, or you will just concede?
The NE didn't pass. They won't. There'll be no war between Albania and Portugal right now.
I didn't know about that. Sorry. Myself, I was president in South Korea, even though I was Romanian. You are American and are a dictator in Albania, even though you are from USA. You were president there. I was president in Romania. How much help do you get from USA for the new country, Albania? Because when I was in South Korea, some people helped me, some people were my fierce enemies. How the Americans see you being there, and do you get any help from them?
Well, I mean, the situation in Romania or in South Korea, Romanians went and took over South Korea. So it's, you had a Romanian community there in South Korea.
Yes, it was my military who wanted to take over South Korea.
I'm in Albania alone with there's no American community in Albania. It's just me and the Albanians.
But you are very influencing people in USA, and definitely you have a lot of friends in USA willing to help you if you ask them, of course.
Well, you'd think. I mean, it's difficult. It's very difficult. It's not. It's kind of a what have you done for me lately type of world, and we're on opposite sides of things. We have different allies. We are occasionally going to war with each other's allies, or be involved in situations where their allies are involved or our allies are involved. So I've put a lot of effort into it to this point, but it's going to be a very difficult relationship to maintain over time. I'm not happy about it, but it's just reality. If alliances stay as they are, we'll probably end up hating each other before it's over with.
Okay. In the end, please tell us, there are over 130 people watching us right now on the stream. Please tell us a few words, like from Colin Landry, the one guy that at one point was the strongest account in the game. Send them a message.
I have no message for him.
Well, how should they play the game? How should they enjoy the game?
You should play the game in any way that makes you enjoy it. There's not how I play, how you play, or how they play, or it's a freaking game. Just try to have some fun. Try not to worry too much about real life. Try to meet some people. Try to have some fun. It's entertainment, and that's what it's for. It is to pass the time, not to get involved and stress about or hate people over, or just it's not. It's just a fucking game. Enjoy it.
And seeing as the game develops, do you think this game has a future?
Well, I mean, you kind of hit on this earlier. I'm sure the servers will stay on, and there'll be some version of this game as it evolves around for quite a long time.
Okay. Okay, late question from the president of Serbia, Taki Mania. With all the money invested in the game, why didn't you try to make an alliance to work better for you? I mean, you invested a lot of money in combat orders and so on for Albania, for Croatia. Why didn't you spend those money putting an effort to create an alliance that probably would have spent the money better? I think that is the sense of the question.
Who's to say I'm not? I mean, but I'm not. I mean, I'm not. I'm
Okay,
involved.
okay, you said it. You said it. I caught you.
Let me finish. I mean, I personally am not, though. I mean, I am involved, and I talk to people that are working on such things, but I don't have the real life time to run a country, much less try to run an alliance or put together an alliance. Plus, I don't necessarily know all the people I need to know. I know a few of the big people that I talk to regular from different places, but I don't necessarily know, a dozen people from every country that I am on a full-time talking relationship to, or that I even have time to talk to. So organizing something like that is just not going to be something I'm going to do. I'll be behind it, I'll help, I'll try to be involved, but to some extent that's going to be somebody else's job.
Okay. You are like me. I could do that, but I'm too old for that crap.
Exactly.
Okay, a second or third last question. Glofik asks, what about Ukraine? You have the top damage for them more than you did for Albania.
For Ukraine, I've never really known many people in Ukraine, but I see a lot of their fighters in our battles. I see a lot of their fighters in our allied battles. I see Ukraine showing up. So when Ukraine has something going on that seems competitive, I try to show up for them.
So that's the explanation. Okay. And really the last question. What is your opinion about Clopoyaur TV and the fact that I'm trying to give a new way of the media developing through streaming?
Who asked that question?
Me.
I think it's great, man. I enjoy. When I see the shouts, and which the shout, you should have more people shout or bug people to shout more. When I see the shouts and I'm able, I usually try
You wanted to say the spam.
I wanted to say what?
The spam. The shout spam.
Oh yeah, the shout.
Another round.
I like it. I think it's good for the game. I think it's good for people. I don't know. I like the show. I enjoy it, and I try to watch it when I can. I think it's good for the game. I think it's good for people getting to know each other.
Okay, how many clubs do you have?
I don't know. You made me log out here, so I've lost. I mean, however many I would have gained. You owe me
Okay, I will give you 10 clubs for this interview.
Don't you get like 10 every 6 minutes or something?
Yes, 1 club every 10 minutes. But if we will meet in real life, I will give you this club, which is real. You can see it over here, right?
Yeah, yeah. I think 94 or so the last time I looked, but I may have bet on a thing or two since then, so not too many.
Oh,
But
man. You're rich.
yeah, well, maybe.
Thank you very much for being here with me and for accepting this interview. You are an awesome guy, and you made me a very happy man by coming here on Clopoyaur TV. Let's hope that with other encounters and with other things that you will manage to do in the game, you will be back with us. Thank you very much, Colin.
Thanks, guys.
And thank you for being here. Bye bye.